I don't want to be sitting in the middle.
It's a podcast.
Well, this is still the middle.
That is the middle.
This is like the ultimate middle, though.
The middle as opposed to the somewhat middle?
I like
you should sit
You're
there
a token girl, you gotta be on the middle.
I like the offside middle.
You're a token girl this episode, you have to be in the middle.
I should switch couches because I have no legs this way.
I find like these days, okay, first of all, what is it? 18 now. It's 18. Episode 18? Our podcast
Episode
can
18.
legally drink in some states.
In this
States?
state.
No, you can't drink in the States.
No, I think
Alberta,
it's
it's
21.
18.
But I meant
21 states.
provinces.
19 in BC.
19.
It's only 18 in Alberta and somewhere else, Quebec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everywhere else.
Everywhere else
is
is
That was always
19 now.
fun. 18, going to Quebec!
Or in England, you can drink when you're 18.
Oh yeah?
Can't you
In
drink when you're
Germany, you
16
can
when
drink.
if
Well,
it's
pretty much.
parental-
If you go to a bar when you're fucking 14.
Yeah, I heard in
your
Europe,
parents-
as long as you can see over the counter, you
Yeah, I
can drink.
went to Germany when I was 17, and you can drink.
Well, they're pretty
They don't
lax
even
on that
ask.
thing.
They don't
Relax
even
about
ask.
it.
Like, I went to this one bar, and it was all kids younger than I was, just drinking and playing foosball. It was really cool.
Weird.
I mean, it was really seedy.
Can you imagine walking into a bar and having like
Kids.
16-year-olds drinking and hanging out? Being the
Imagine.
odd one out?
Man,
I
that-
always-
that was my
Imagine.
fucking early 20s.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my
That was the joy of turning 18.
Go
was
down
going
to
into a
Dixon's
restaurant
on
without having to have
Tuesday
kids
and you'll
around.
meet a bunch of 16-year-olds in the bar if you want.
It's weird. It's definitely like a thing in Canada where it's like, yay, I'm old enough to drink. I'm gonna go out and get fucked up. Because in England, it's like there's not that sort of barrier that you're.
Well, it's like
reaching.
kids still drink
No, right?
like way younger than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Out
it's
in
like
the
it's not a
open,
big deal when
in
you
bush
turn that
parties.
age. You're just like you get drunk by this.
Good old field party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas I remember
Drinking in a
when I first came back from England, I went to like the Roxy, which is like a terrible club on like Granville Street downtown Vancouver, and me and my ex-wife were just kind of like just chilling out, and like by 10 p.m. there were like all these 19-year-old kids that were just like like throwing up in the fucking bathroom. It's like, oh my god, you guys like, is this actually your first time drinking? What the fuck? So, anyways, Rich, did you actually come up with a topic
I think
aside from hospitals?
I think we're gonna go with early drinking experiences.
We did
that
that.
last
We did
week.
that last week. Yeah.
This
Can't
is
do
the
that.
carryover. Why am
No
I the topic
carryovers.
man?
This could be the hangover.
Because that's what
You're a knowledgeable
that
guy.
told you to do that while I was
Plugged
setting
in.
shit up.
I just did some bad things today. Nothing really fun.
PlayStation 4.
Okay. Well, I want
S&M?
to ask.
I don't
No,
know.
not S&M. So Dan, what's the thing with your phone?
Oh, it's just I heard about it. A friend is doing it. It's just this guy came up with this app, which is a simplified process, but it's 1 second every day. You take a video of 1 second of every day of your life, and you can compile them into like monthly, yearly, whatever, so that in the end you have this like very short watchable video of like your whole life. So that basically the idea is just to do something or have something memorable every day of your life, so that you're kind of aware of.
That's weird.
Doesn't it have to
Cool.
be
Yeah.
kind of like a similar sort of composition for the thing, like with
Yeah.
like, the face?
Well, just
Mm,
use
no.
use your iPhone, so it's.
Yeah.
The one version I have seen of this, what I think was probably like the first one, was like not set up like that. It was just like whatever.
Yeah, it started
So
off as just one
every
guy's
second was
personal
basically
project.
just whatever. It was sometimes it was his first person view, sometimes it was
Yeah, it can be anything.
him as in the third
Anything.
person, whatever.
Which is kind of interesting because even like really mundane stuff is, I feel like a good variety of like close-ups, environment shots, people, all that kind of stuff. It's just things that you want to remember down the line.
But I have a question about that though, because if you're thinking about the composition and the point of view, doesn't
Yeah.
that kind of mediate the way that you view your entire life?
Definitely. Well, which is kind of ironic.
that's
It's like,
Aren't you always
by-
looking for that 1 second? You're like, oh, I got to make my
Yeah,
second
yeah.
day really cool.
Instead of living in the moment, you're
Otherwise
trying to
I'm
take
gonna look
yourself
at this
out.
shit. It's
You're
gonna
like,
be
jumping,
me.
you're gonna catch it.
It's gonna be like me, and it's gonna be
That's
like
weird.
50 shots
Yeah.
of a computer screen. You know, like
Yeah. So yeah, there is that for sure.
It's just like well, I guess cameras have always done that, have a false
Well,
representation of people's lives.
Yeah.
That's I find that's the advantage that we have as artists on how we are able to document our lives, because it's like when I look back on my life, I have like so many different ways that I've tried to document just things that I've done. Like I used to when I was bartending after I finished university, I started to draw the most memorable moment of every day.
Oh, neat.
So I've got like
Visual journal.
Yeah, I've got 3.5 sketchbooks just full of like what was the thing that stood out to me that day. And it's all in drawings and stuff. And it's kind of cool. I've used some of it for like some kind of like personal work and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool just to like flip back and remember, because they all like inspire the memory.
Totally. It's that visual cue, that reminder for
Yeah, exactly. So
retrospection.
when I flip through it, I'm just like, oh, this was an awesome day and shit like that. And it's kind of cool on like how, and I kind of like the idea of someone finding that, you know, when I'm dead, so they can kind of
That's
flip
hopeful.
through it. And
Have you guys ever seen? There's a movie with Robin Williams. It was the idea that everybody has or these people have a camera embedded in their eye from birth, so that their whole life is videotaped, and then it's this guy's job, the main character, to edit this video for their funeral. That's like an hour long. And you guys,
I haven't heard of that at all.
I've never heard of that.
It's a really interesting movie. So it's like he sees people's entire lives. So he sees all the dirty, nasty,
1 hour film.
underhanded, ugly stuff, right?
And he's got to edit all the nice
And he has to edit it so he
flowery
becomes
crap.
jaded and all this kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a neat idea how, like, the idea of having a very small, manageable clip, reviewable clip of, like, a large chunk of your life. Because, yeah, like, you get the idea of what the thing is. And
That sounds like a real fucking bitch to do, because like even those
it's
podcasts and
not
stuff, like editing an hour down to like 20 minutes is a real pain in the ass.
I like that, though. Like, he listens. He just doesn't know what to say.
Yeah, he just comes here for a laugh, which is kind of why I
Buzz
like
cut.
it.
I'm kind of disappointed. He hasn't thrown up any beer in a while.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fine.
he hasn't thrown up for about a month or so.
He's passed out off camera. That's good.
Cody Calvin is goes hard.
Yeah.
Oh, first one.
Has no beer.
What?
If the alarm goes
You have
off,
to drink when the
you have
alarm
to
goes off.
drink.
Oh.
Oh,
Why is the alarm
do you want some
going
wine?
off?
absolutely.
I like cycling.
No.
But I
Oh,
love
it's different.
myself.
It's different when you're on the bike.
No,
When
you
you're on the
don't.
bike, it's a
You
different
don't.
perspective
Yeah.
altogether.
Right.
But it's
When you're in a
like, what
car
is
with
the
a
But when you look at that, you're like, okay, cool. But then then there's like a kilometer stretch where there's nothing.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's out on the road. So the only way it's really going to be fixed if people are more patient. So drivers are going to be like, oh, this is going to take 10 seconds for me to find a good spot to get around this person. And cyclists to be, oh, I can't really bike through this. I'm going to jump off my bike and walk for a second.
That's good.
You know,
Yeah,
I think
no
you
kidding.
just
give and
More
take. I
tolerance
agree
on
with
both
that.
sides.
yeah, I think you just hit the key of like the whole problem is just like no one's fucking having a baby or whatever. It's just like you're just going home from work, man. Like what's the big fucking deal?
And yet I've seen in Calgary,
Nobody
like,
wants to give.
yeah, a couple times people
Right.
freak. Like there's a guy going like, I don't know, 40K, like not even fast, just because. And then there's a cyclist comes away. He has to slow down like, I don't know, 10K. Oh, get the fuck out of the road! And then like just flips the guy, just has it, freaks out, speeds away. It's like
That's when
you just pissed off everybody else around you.
Yeah.
You didn't.
Yeah, when I see people like that, I'm just like, you are like straight up just a
Road
complete
rage.
fucking asshole
Yeah.
in everything you do in life. Because it's like, if you don't have that
It's
sort of
just
patience
touchy.
just to relax in that moment, then like, what do you like under like an actual stressful situation?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like, fuck, man, I don't get that. Like, people that freak out on the little things, they must just be the biggest dick on the big things, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I have nothing else happening.
Well,
It's probably
yeah.
it's probably that big pressure that's making them freak out on all these little
Yeah.
things. They're like, oh, I can't let this out at work. I can't tell my boss he's a fucking idiot. But
I
on the
feel
way
like we're
home, I
being
can flip off this
Yeah,
cyclist.
they vent it out.
And you totally go off the handle.
I like
And
how
so-
and, like,
empathetic
there's no-
this
no
conversation is
repercussions.
turning.
Yeah,
We're all
fuck
like, we
those
feel,
guys.
man, like you've had a hard day. You deserve to freak.
Yeah. But
I
really,
don't know,
like,
like-
instead of
Good
getting angry at
workouts,
those
too.
guys, just pity them because
Just
they
be like-
can't manage themselves
Well,
properly.
yeah, exactly, right?
Like your life sucks. Or...
Oh, angry, can't do what I want.
It's probably a bit more of a scary situation for like girl drivers and stuff like that, like the whole road rage thing, where it's just like
You think so?
I've had people like kind of ride my ass and shut up, you know, tailgating
woman.
I like
me.
how you're like defending
I don't know.
girls and you tell me to shut up all in one breath.
But no, I've
Wade
had-
is a man of many contradictions.
Well, he's been sitting there waiting to get something out. You can just see him. He's been trying it.
But no, it's like if someone's like giving me crap on the road and they're like tailgating me or like really just like being like an aggressive driver like up my ass,
Slow down, put on your brakes. Be a dick bag.
I've done that.
alarm motherfuckers.
Oh, alarm.
I like get apprehensive about that. I'm like super patient with them because I know like if it kind of came to a road rage situation, and we got out of our cars like I don't know, I'd probably kick the shit out of the guy or something like that. But it's probably a bit more scary for like I don't know, girls or smaller guys like Cody or something.
Dude, come on.
We're like, you don't know who's in that car, right? And like even it's like I don't know. I feel like I'm being a dick, but even like the guy.
You want to form me a tipple in that last?
Yeah,
cup?
sure.
Thanks.
Well, no, a new one for you.
But
Yeah, a little tipple.
there was one time when I was
Game match.
when I was going to my dojo in Vancouver, the guy who was like the head of the dojo, like the main sort of sensei dude, he came in for like a lesson one time, and he was a little bit stressed, and basically he had a bit of a road rage altercation on the way to the dojo that night, and he had it was over like some fucking parking space or something like that. And it was like, I can't even remember what it was. It was like some bullshit dispute. It was like over nothing, really. But then like these guys were like trailing him down the highway and shit like that. And you're just like, they basically forced him off the road and he pulled over and was just like, what the fuck? And keep in mind, this is like one of the biggest, blackest, badass motherfuckers like you could ever meet. He's one of the most dangerous people I've known in my whole life. And it was like these two like I don't know Asian gangsters or whatever like pulled him over and they like pulled a gun on him, and they both like took both sides of like his Jeep and they were like punching him like with the gun, like hitting him in the head with metal and stuff. And this guy is like so. It's weird because like he was submissive in that situation, but he was so badass that he kept his calm and realized that by being submissive he was saving his own life.
Well, yeah, it's like all they want to do is like vent out their frustrations.
Yeah, so they were just like, they just kind of want to be like, kind of, you know, puff up their chest a bit on him, but he was just like, whatever, I can take this shit. But
Better
like if he fought back, they might have shot him, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like I don't know, I just kind of contradicted myself where I'm just like, oh, it's all right if like, you know, you're a big guy, you can take road rage, but you never know.
Well, you can literally
really
he could take it. He could get beat up and be okay.
Yeah, but at the same time, because of like his training and his life experience and everything he's been through, he knew how to react to it that would diffuse the situation.
Gotta be a calm state of mind.
Yeah, whereas other people might be like, what the fuck, and like go all self-defensive and then get shot.
Yeah.
So it's weird, man. It's weird. Like, I'm gonna take it back to that point that I was agreeing with Rich with, is just like fucking calm down, everybody. It's like you're just driving.
Yeah.
It's a fucking like you're just going home or it's a goddamn parking space. What's the big fucking deal?
Yeah.
It's like your space, and you know, you feel like you're, I don't want to say safe space necessarily, but you're separated, right?
Yeah.
Whatever I do in here, oh, who cares? I'm in my car. I'm in my.
There's the people
I'm
like
in my
picking their
space,
noses or
right?
something.
Well, yeah, there's that, right? But like, yeah, like you totally feel like you're in your own room, your own house, like whatever. It's a comfort zone for you, right?
Yeah.
So like,
Oh,
who cares?
that's a
If I
good
want
point.
to, if I want to fucking yell at somebody, well, it's through a window. There's a barrier. between
And that's
us.
why they get so much.
Well, exactly.
bravado.
Right?
People
Same
get
thing-
to like
Same thing as like, you know, going on a message board or something on the internet, right? You know, you vent, no one has a clue who you are, and you're just going off the handle.
Yeah, but
saying something
there's a
stupid.
bit of a difference when you're in a car and like, I think a lot of
I
people
don't know.
have the same approach to it, but it's just that they're so nearsighted that they can't see that they could actually get pulled over and fucking shot.
I think
Well,
it's the same
yeah,
concept
exactly,
as the internet. You know, there's always a consequence for your actions. People just they feel that like because you have anonymity towards something, like being in a random vehicle or being online, that gives you like the reason, the method to be a dick, essentially. Like it's like, you know, a normal person plus anonymity plus, you know, like an audience equals a fucking idiot, basically.
I
You
don't
know?
think
Like,
I don't think it's the anonymity because you never really have that. Even on the internet,
No.
people can track you down.
yeah,
if
I
they
wouldn't
want
know.
to.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
say
I
that.
know,
You
but
can hide
people
behind.
don't really consider
You
that
can
as
hide behind a fake person though to hide your real person.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But it's funny. I want to get back to like how I brought my girlfriend into it because like it's something that amuses me so much. Because my girlfriend is like quite a contrast of my ex-wife. She's actually like a nice person, and she's actually
Is the ex-wife ever really nice though?
Does she watch this?
No,
She would be your
well, my
ex-wife
girlfriend
if you
does. My
liked her.
ex-wife doesn't. I hope not.
It's the recurring theme of the show.
But no, like my girlfriend is like I kind of went for like the flip side of it after like having the bad side of that shit. But Yeah, she's like a really nice, like polite girl, and she's like really like sweet and all that sort of shit. Like she's just like all around the good person, I guess you could say. But like when she's in a car, she does get that sort of like aggressive like reaction to things, but she kind of like gets mad in a way. Hey, you want to join us? Scooch up, somebody.
Scoochie.
What's that? Can I sit down?
Make room.
But she does get that that sort of like aggression, but she ends up sounding like a grandma swearing.
Like also,
Cause she swears at random people like in the nicest way. She's like, "Oh, you fucking cunt, stealing my lane, you little motherfucker!" And I'm just like, I'm sitting next to her, I'm just
Look
like,
at that fucker.
yeah. And it's kind of like this. I'm like, this is hilarious. It's like being like fucking barked at by a chihuahua.
oh.
Yeah. So I'm like, this is really weird because you're never like this aggressive to anybody like ever, but at the same time, it's still cute because it's so like harmless.
Have you guys ever blown kisses at someone who's really mad at you?
That's a good idea.
Makes them really mad.
Wait, what?
Because then they look at you and then you start waving and smiling,
"Hey."
and then they can't keep a straight
I don't-
face. It totally fucks
yeah.
with them.
Really?
I think that's a girl thing. I don't think that was work.
Yeah,
I think it would work better.
I think that would
Depends
work
Depends on
for
what
me.
guy.
If
No,
someone
I
did that to
agree.
me, I would be
Some
like,
guys would be surprised
I can make
as
some
hell
kissy
if a guy was
faces,
like,
but
"Hey."
I don't know if Wayne get away with the kissy faces.
I think that would just aggravate
some
them
guy was
more,
mad
I
at me,
think.
I'm just like,
Yeah. They would
You might
then-
get
it's
your
so
ass
funny
kicked.
though, making them more mad. It's my goal in life.
You're a troll, basically. You're a troll.
well, that's the best thing about people that lose their temper is that they fucking lost it, and then when you're the person that has caused that, then you can just play with them because
That's true.
This is basically what the internet is based off of.
Which is kind of ridiculous.
yeah.
You guys should be drinking.
We just
Working on
Just
it.
it.
Why aren't you drinking?
There's an
Drive.
extra
Just gotta
cup.
drive and then ski.
I've had 2 beers
And then
tonight. I'm a little bit buzzed.
Actually, gotta take off, guys.
Oh, that's
Time is
cool.
it?
Get out of here.
Gotta go home with his
No
girlfriend.
problem.
am.
I'm just rude today. I'm sorry.
Why so angry?
What are you
I
talking
keep
about?
thinking those are socks.
There's tons.
Yeah, I'm like, why are you rocking around? But it's just because that gray texture. I keep
They're
thinking
sparkly. That's
Feel
why I
about
bought
like
them.
the disco ball sort of clothing
disco ball too.
stuff.
I think
We're it all the same day.
I think that's a compliment.
you know what I think it comes down to? I think it comes down to people just need to like not take so much inside of themselves and like personalize it in themselves. Like people take
But if a 14-year-old kid in fucking Ohio decides to call me a fag,
then whatever.
yeah,
That's not
exactly.
very nice.
Well,
That's-
no,
that
obviously
word is
not.
just
But
in
what
your
do I
brain.
Why
care?
is it bad to be a fag?
What are you saying, Rich? Are you like, do you stand up for yourself, or do you tell them to shut
Oh,
up?
yeah, like, no,
And
in
that
this
word just
situation, it's
defends
like-
No, I
me.
know.
Yeah.
Is
What?
that like that's
Well, it
what
depends
that's a
on
pretty
who you
standard
talk
thing? It's like
Because like
The
some people are
we're
like,
playing a
"Yeah."
game, having fun.
Possibly the
I die,
connotation.
and then I get very like hateful words thrown at you. And as an adult, you start to realize, okay, you know, you shouldn't
You
say
feel like
those
you-
things. But then it's tough to be the adult when you're playing a game or something because the natural thing is like, well, that's not really appropriate. You know, we're just trying to enjoy the game, and it's all a bunch of kids and you.
Yeah.
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 You know what I really coming from the game industry is that when you do play those games and you are playing with a bunch of fucking like Southern American 14-year-olds or whatever, it's like this game is rated mature by the EASRB. This like if you're supposed to be fucking 17 or above to play this game, and like I can tell by the pitch of your voice that you're not. So you have bad parents.
I'm sure you
Parental
played
thing,
the
yeah.
I'm
I don't
sure
know,
you
now
played
you're
the same
talking-
kind of games when you were
Cameo
like,
in,
They
cameo
didn't
out.
have those games when I was 12.
They did.
Go
They had, like,
icon.
Mortal Kombat
We had
and
a
Doom and
conversation,
stuff.
then it went nerdy as soon as you came in. I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
how that works.
Good time.
Well, and you're also
Stop
talking
bringing your glasses to the party.
Yeah.
My
Jeez.
eyes are infected right now, assholes.
Ew.
Flicked her eye gun.
Wait,
at
you're
us?
also talking about a
Sounds
country
lifestyle.
that like the oh no shit I forgot like the FDA says that certain foods are good to eat that aren't. So
Well,
really NC-17 doesn't really mean anything.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know. I
Basically,
think
make
it's
your own
a
decisions, don't let the
guidelines,
government
but people
decide
don't
for you.
follow
Well,
it.
it's America. That's what it's based on
Murder.
is making your own decisions.
Which
For
I
you
think
guys.
is good.
But
You're
then
a
you-
parent,
you-
make responsible decisions for your
Yeah,
kid.
your parents.
You
suck,
can't
not the
you can't
government.
not make a decision and then bitch about the result though.
Yeah.
Like people will they'll like, oh well, these video games are violent and they should be like whatever controlled more strongly, and it's like, you know, well, we already gave you the fucking tool to do that. You know, like you can't. It's like voting. You can't bitch about the government when you didn't fucking vote. You didn't
Well,
put an
that's
input in.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
you
I don't
didn't-
do either.
You didn't do. Yeah, and that's good. If you're
You
not
just
if you're
don't
not gonna
care.
vote, then don't care about it.
You know, like I
You
don't
know,
agree
like,
with that.
The other day,
I don't agree either.
I asked the question because people were like talking about like they were.
Well, if you
having
don't
this
want to have an
conversation.
input into what's going on, then
But
I think
that's
that
what
I
I'm
was-
talking about political action.
Yeah.
Like if you take political action and you have an opinion, good. If you don't, and then just decide to bitch about it,
Yeah.
then that's problem.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So like what I was gonna say is like the other day people were like bitching about something and I was just like, who's this like Stephen Harper guy? And everyone's like always bitching about.
He's a fucking asshole, apparently.
He's our prime minister, right?
The prime minister.
I thought
Yes.
that was
Okay.
Menchie. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
I
So
thought that was
I just-
mentioned.
I had seen him in the news and I've heard people bitch about him and stuff like that. And I just thought he was like just some fucking politician.
Canadian politics tries everything it can possibly do to be as uninteresting as possible. So
That's
It's
because-
working.
Yeah, so they can get away with more shit.
yeah.
That's what I kind of wonder
Yeah.
about. If it's
Yeah.
just like by burying it in bureaucracy,
Yeah,
they
nobody
can
will
kind of
know.
like,
Well,
oh, this
nobody
and
will
this
know.
rule, then and take away people's rights.
Well,
I
and this
agree with
rule, this
you.
rule.
The typical thing that the Harper government does, which is no longer the government of Canada, it's the
Oh,
Harper
yeah, we're
government.
gonna start talking about politics now. No.
I tried to bring it back.
Yeah, so they released this game, and fucking now I don't even remember what I was going on about.
Daisy?
Yeah, no, not Daisy, War Z,
War Z?
Yeah.
War Z, okay.
that standalone one, and basically people were bitching, and everybody was like, "Oh, we want refunds. This game is shit. You know, like you guys promised so much, and none of this is in the game, basically." So they changed their terms of use to say, if you accept these terms of use, you can no longer get a refund. And then they made you like accept it before
Yeah.
you could log in.
That's hilarious.
Well, no, it's not hilarious. It's
It's
tragic.
very crafty of
It's
them.
crafty and evil, but it just shows
Whatever, man.
what
That's
can
like-
happen
that's-
when you don't when you don't pay attention to these things. But like, there's like no way for you to pay attention to them because they're so long and they're so convoluted and they're so like written in this language you don't really understand. You know?
Yeah, but to log in you have to buy the game, right?
Yes.
Fucking tough luck, man. That's like if you buy
Well,
a
like
game
what?
at a
Like-
store.
Well, like, what if you got a game and it was like
Fine.
it said on the back of the box that they're like, here's an example. So it's like areas like up to 100 to 400 kilometers in size. The only area that's in the game is like 30 square kilometers. Would you not be like, this is bullshit? This is false advertising. I
Oh,
was sold a
dude.
bill of goods and I did not receive it.
Yeah, but did they do that? Was there like false advertising involved?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
I
what they
didn't know.
listed in the Steam.
I thought it
thing.
was just like a game that turned out to be shit.
No, like if the game's shit, like Aliens, then
too bad,
sorry,
but-
Wayne, I know you
Shit.
bought that game.
Yeah. Pre-order.
Then you know, like you're shit out of luck. You know, do your research next time. But if you do your research and then like it's not what you asked, you were promised. You know, like that's when it starts to become like, and then that's where like this problem is with like this legalese, where like you want to read it, but it's so fucking long. You just it's like you want to just play the game, so you just press the button. You know.
Yeah,
But
nobody
there's
reads
so
that
much-
shit.
I don't.
There's so much more consequence to it. You know.
It's like, do you remember that South Park
Yes.
episode where there was like
iTunes?
it was like the Apple shit because it's
Yeah.
like every time Apple like every fucking month they have like a new
You're like,
sort of like
I
term of
agree.
agreement,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everyone's just like so used to just be like, yes, fuck, whatever. And then there was like, what is it? It was like a human sentai pad.
Yeah. That's what you like. They do like a lottery to choose everybody or something.
I think that was genius. I love those
pretty
guys.
funny,
Yeah, that was actually a really funny episode.
Yeah.
But
Like I don't really
everything in our
see.
system benefits big corporations. Like we should just get used to it. Like that's what we do. Like
Yeah.
we pay taxes to not support ourselves, but big corporations.
Okay.
Like that's what we do. And the corporation I'm talking about. The
We
government.
need to go hang out at the bar sometime and bring
Oh,
this
on
conversation
political
back
talk.
to something else that's more fun to watch.
What up, brother?
This is like guest hour.
Guest hour, Adam. Stepping into the camera, my
yeah,
friend.
no, I like this when there are
Adam!
people like swap in and
You were
out.
freaking coordinated today, though. You were completely monochrome.
Monochrome?
Oh, except you got the shine. The
I
sheen,
I rarely
the
wear a
hat,
lot
and
of
the hat.
color, really, so it's pretty. I wouldn't really call it coordinated. Kind of just my
You can throw anything
kind
on
of just
and
my
it's
closet,
coordinated.
pretty much.
Your closet's just like all rainbows. You're just like black.
I wear black on the outside because black is
Okay.
how I feel on the inside.
Another drink, Emily?
I see your red door.
That's how the
Actually,
song
sorry.
goes.
It's because you guys both have Lee names. Oh
We
man,
have the
that was
vowel
terrible.
names at the beginning.
Usually I don't do that.
That's okay.
Sorry.
I got us confused too.
All you new people are the same.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
That's okay. I called you Amanda behind your back.
You called her
okay.
Amanda?
Yeah.
Fuck, man. At least like I
At
did
least
something
you got
that was
the
At
close.
least
to
call her that to her face.
Yeah.
Dick.
Next time you call me Amanda, make sure it's to my face.
It will be your
Oh my
face.
god, there's an N64.
Perfect Dark was like the first good co-op campaign
Did you ever
And
play
multiplayer was fun because they had the AIs, which I think was
Yeah,
new.
yeah.
When you said co-op
pretty
campaign,
new.
A couple
I thought
insane
you were
bots
talking
with you
about
and
an
buddy?
ad campaign for the
Oh, yeah.
co-op
You just get pissed off.
company.
No, like,
The main campaign.
I always like to replay the first level when you go up to the dude
You
who's like
guys-
talking on the phone, looking out the window, and you just walk up to him with a silenced pistol.
Justin.
Yeah.
And then
What you pooping like that?
It's beautiful.
I almost cried in the last one.
When Dom died.
Have a good weekend.
My girlfriend was dissing the shit out of me, and then she like announced that to a bunch of people to like make fun of me. She's like, he's fucking almost crying when he's playing the stupid game, and all the guys were like, dude, me too.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
That was so brutal.
In your
Yeah, like,
face.
you know what? Like I still think I think out of the trilogy, I think Gears of War 2 was the best, and especially
I'm just gonna
that
drink.
that
I'm a
moment.
Gears of War fan.
That moment when, well,
So I don't know what you're
Go.
talking about.
when
I don't
when
like the multiplayer.
It was worse. You don't?
Not really. I love Horde, but just like, never got into the multiplayer too much.
I love it. Just like I don't like it like online, but it's just like when it's like PvP, like sort of like people in the same room that you're fucking fighting against.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
Entirely.
But
it's like the
when-
original Halo.
When Dom found his wife and had to like shoot her in the head because she was so fucked up in Gears of War 2, I was just like, that was so much more impactful for me. Right?
I guess.
Yeah?
Gears of War is a pretty shot story, though. No offense.
Who cares
You're a
about the
shot
story,
story.
man? It's awesome,
Are
man.
we still talking about Goldeneye? Wait, by the twins, do you mean the French guys?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to hear some? Did I tell you about what I said to them before they went to go talk
Yeah,
to
you
Jared?
dumb fucking inconsiderate little hoe bag. I
I
can't believe
didn't
you
know.
said
I didn't
that.
know the situation. I
So
didn't
funny.
even know them, and people were making jokes about me like getting fired all week, right?
Did you say their work was shit or something?
No.
Like
It's so
somebody
funny
was
what
like,
you
oh,
said.
they were like, oh, Jared.
It's so funny.
Jared, somebody was like, "Oh, Jared wants to see you in the office," and like I turned to him and I was like, and I like turned to them and I was like, "You're fired." And he looks like me. He's like, "What?" And I was like, "Nothing."
Oh. And then they got fired. Terrible.
It's just like, and then I got that like letter the next day, and I was like,
Sweet Jared.